Today we're going to be setting up this computer desk downstairs here in the studio room. I built this a while ago and just never got around to setting it up to be functional. So we've got this Sony computer that we're going to install here. Got some other equipment behind it that we're going to set up. Some lamps, a fan, maybe a weather radio. We're going to start with setting up the power bar, which is going to reside on this piece of wood. I cut that wood and installed that earlier today. I was cutting some wood for something else and it just made sense to make that cut at the same time. So there's no pictures of that, but it wasn't anything particularly exciting. So we're going to use the Triple Light ISO bar. I use these exclusively for all of my permanent setups where they're going to be plugged in and running all the time. I do use some vintage metal power bars and other miscellaneous and temporary setups, but for anything that's permanent, this is my go-to bar. These are expensive, but they work well. They're safe, they're reliable, so I feel that they are money well spent. So I don't know why in my mind I felt like those runners went this way. They don't, so this is just gonna kind of slide around on here. But that's fine, I guess, for now. What I could do is I could put two screws. I think I'm going to do that. I can get two little 1-inch screws and lock it in place like that. I'm going to get some screws. I got some screws. I'm not worried about making this really great because this power setup is likely only temporary. I'm eventually going to install some outlets here, and then this might change. So I'm not going to go too crazy with it. Just want to make something that's functional for now. Actually, I want to feed this below these data lines. I put the data in a long time ago. I've really been needing to get back to this project to finish this up. Especially now that we're wrapping up summertime. I'll be spending more time in the house, and it'll be nice to have this workstation available. Okay, so now this can mount on there like that. Well, that's not really much better, but it'll serve the purpose. Like I said before, this is likely only temporary anyways. I actually was going to just leave it on the table for now behind the computer, but these are metal on the bottom and I think it might scratch the surface of the table, so just put it up there to keep the table in good condition. Alright, so that bar is going to plug in down here. This is also only temporary. Okay, the power bar is live. I try to keep that off the floor in case it floods. Well, we've been pretty good so far this year. Hasn't been anything crazy going on with the flooding. Okay, so I'm going to need some cords for the computer. I'm going to need an AC power cord, and I'm going to need an Ethernet cord, because we use Ethernet here, not Wi-Fi. I got Ethernet cord and I got a power cord. This unit calls for a right angle cord. I happen to have one floating around that I could remember where it was. I don't know if these are made in different directions. I suppose it's kind of a 50-50 as to whether or not this one is angled in the right direction. This is kind of a cool computer. I'm very interested to use this and see how it works. I don't recall how far I got on the setup. I know I reinstalled Windows at least. Let's see. The cord is the right orientation. Cool. Okay, so that's that. Ethernet cord is very short, but that's all that we need. Oh, this is actually supposed to go like this, here like this. This opens up. This is a really nice cable management to it. I like that. I'm not usually a fan of all-in-one stuff, but this seems like it was designed pretty well. We have USB ports down there? No, they're over on the right. Will they fit behind this, or that goes through? Huh, well, that's kind of stinky. That only covers the... It only covers the power and data. And that's really easy to use too. This is magnetic. That's also pretty easy to use. Or so I thought. Why this is not going on all the way. You know what? I remembered seeing this on the video. I said I gotta remember to go back and fix that. The top right corner of the hard drive access bay is not set in properly. That's coming out right there. So let's just take a few extra minutes to do this properly and reseat that. No idea what that motion eye thing is. Okay, that's all that it required to fix that. Now that's in there the way it should be. I wonder if that was why it wasn't sitting properly. I think it was. Went on properly that time with no trouble. Alright, that's good. Okay, next we have the computer keyboard. Which I guess we'll connect over here. What I will do is I'll slide it through this. I gotta move that light. Have any more wire ties? Isn't that hard to believe? I'll just cut a new one. The computer mouse already has a wire tie on it. That's it for the computer. the telephone. I'm going to install a couple cordless phones here as well, but we'll have this one here. And this is just like that. I can coil this up a little bit more. Let that hang down on the back. We'll have a clock radio here. I'm going to leave the wire uncoiled because it probably uses the wire for the antenna. Oh, cobwebs behind there. I've got a pencil sharpener. This is a Panasonic pencil sharpener, and this pencil sharpener seems to give the sharpest points out of any point getter I've used. And we've got a lamp, which okay. I guess we're not going to be able to use the lamp because the cord is cut. That's unfortunate. I really was going to use this lamp here. Okay. That was not expected. I guess for the time being I'll use a different lamp, unless... Is there a reason why that was cut? I doubt that there is. Nothing looks like it's in bad condition. Everything seems copacetic. That is really quite odd. The cord... What the heck? I think I now see why the cord was cut off. Something very strange has happened with this lamp. It looks like the cord... Well, that's obviously why the plug was removed. Exactly how that happens, I have no idea. Well, let me see if I have any two-prong plugs on hand. We can just cut that portion off and put a new plug on. I do have a new plug. So let's go ahead and cut that part off. I don't know what the heck happened to that. We might never know. You never know what you're going to see on this old stuff. That's why you always got to check everything before you use it. These wires should have been tinned before putting them in here. Might be able to get it like that. Yeah, we'll be able to get by with that for now. I think this cord might be too short. I might have to replace the whole cord anyways. I don't know why this side's not cooperating. The other side went on just fine. There we go. That's reasonable enough. Okay, the lamp is back in business. You just never know what you're going to see around here. When stuff like this comes up, I always think about people that aren't mechanical. Like, there's some people that would see this and just be totally unable to fix this. Okay, so we've got 4 things plugged in now. Let's power on the lamp. It's kind of dark over here anyways. This is a beautiful vintage lamp. I've never seen one quite like this before with the tulip shades. It's got like stained glass on the bottom too. It's a really elaborate shade. We're going to put in a 100 watt equivalent CFL. Not incandescent this time because the light bills are just getting out of control around here. So I'm trying to use CFLs in as many places as possible. The light bill rates went up 30% in July, which turns a $300 bill into almost a $400 bill. And the higher the bill goes, the greater the difference is. It's crazy. It's becoming unaffordable. So, I'm trying to cut back wherever possible. Alright. I'm pretty sure this lamp is fine, but I would just rather not be touching it the first time it turns on in case it's not fine. Alright, so it seems like it's going to be a 3-way lamp. Yeah, it's fine. I imagine the plug was only cut because of whatever happened to it, which I don't think that we'll ever know. Alright, so last we will set up this weather radio. I'm not sure I'm going to keep this on this desk long term, but we'll put it there for now. I was doing these as individual video series And maybe I will do this as its own individual video. I'll leave the footage in here so that... I'll leave the footage in here. Shut up! In this video it'll be in both, but I do want to do this in its own separate, because there's a lot of people that like these radios and find them interesting. So we're just going to cut to that video now. Today we're going to be setting up another Midland WR120B weather alert radio. This is setup 4 of 5. I thought there was originally only going to be 4 of these, but then I remembered that I had a 5th one is sitting around, so I might as well set that one up too. So this will be setup 4 of 5, and this will be the one here for the studio room. For now we're just going to put it on the desk. Might hang on the wall somewhere later. The whole fiasco with the transmitter being down is still ongoing, so we're going to have to tune it to 162.4. Why is that all dirty? Actually, I have not checked it today, so it's possible that it got fixed this afternoon. We'll check it again. These are very basic and pretty inexpensive radios, but for my use case I find that they work just fine. Actually I have more issues with the weather service transmitter itself than I do with the radios. The cord came with a knot. We didn't pay extra for that. I have to see where this gets a signal. That will dictate where we put it on the table. It just said welcome. Set language. The lighting in here is not really conducive to filming over here. I'm not going to bother setting the time because this is plugged into a circuit that is under construction, so I don't keep the circuit on unless I'm actually in here using it. So this is what we would normally use. 162.475.
Tuesday, sunny.
This will be our alternative channel for now.
Tuesday night, partly cloudy.
We'll select that. Setup done, it says. I'm going to go in there and turn that beeping off because I find that a bit obnoxious. Okay, so let's see if it gets a signal where I want it to go.
East 2 feet at 3 seconds, becoming east 1 foot at 3 seconds. Isolated showers this evening, then scattered showers after midnight. Slight chance of thunderstorms with 1 to 3 nautical miles.
Of course it doesn't.
Increasing to 15 to 20 knots with gusts up to 40 knots in the afternoon. To 3 feet. Wave detail, southeast 2 feet at 3 seconds.
Right here. We'll have to put it there for now. The other channel is, it gets a clearer reception here. That's why I prefer it. but we're using this one for now because this one's actually working.
6 feet. Wave detail, south 3 feet in 4 seconds. Chance of thunderstorms.
Unplug that. Well, anyways, so that's that. We'll put it here. I gotta move
And for Saturday, southwest
some of this stuff around, but it's getting a good signal. I'll turn this up all the way.
becoming west 10 to 15 knots in the afternoon.
I'm gonna open the legs up.
Easterly to 5 feet.
I'm gonna turn the volume up all the way.
Southwest 4 feet at 5 seconds. Chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. Then chance of showers.
And later I will come back and put some batteries in there and set the time once I get the circuit repaired and fully operational. Okay, so unfortunately we can't put it where I wanted it to, so I gotta move this pencil sharpener over, which is okay, we can do that, it's not a big deal. I will clean behind the desk there when I pull everything out to install the new wiring. Alright, so that's pretty much that. Go ahead and push the computer into place. Got a mouse mat here. Got enough slack on everything. The computer keyboard, the computer mouse. Ugh, cobwebs everywhere. Go back about that far. Oh, I forgot to plug in the fee in. See if it'll even reach. It might. Oh yeah, it'll reach. Just barely though. Okay, VN's connected. I'm kind of annoyed about this radio situation. I don't like where it is. Maybe I can put the lamp here and move the radio to this side.
Degrees with 2.66 and the relative humidity 93%. The wind was 2 miles an hour. The pressure was 30.10 inches and falling. And now for some observations. It was cloudy with a temperature of 69 at New Haven, 66 at Chester, and 68 at Groton. At Oxford, rain and fog were reported with a temperature of 64. Here are the latest observations from Massachusetts. Across the region, temperatures were between 62 and 66 degrees. At Westfield, rain was falling. At Boston, rain and fog were reported. At Worcester, rain and fog were reported. Here are some
Reception's pretty
across
poor down
Long
there.
Island and throughout the region, temperatures were between 68 and 70 degrees. At Kennedy International Airport, fog was reported. At Central Park, rain and fog were
I guess
reported.
that's good enough we can do, as we can do for now. The other station should come in much clearer, but it's also broken. So lastly we have this thermometer. This thermometer is actually an artifact of the first house. This used to be in the kitchen. It sat on the windowsill. And you can see that the top corner of the unit where it faced the window was yellowed from the sun. I thought that this was on the left side of the window, but maybe it was on, this would indicate that it was on the right side. But this has got to be at least 20 years old, and it's still working. well, not necessarily at least, probably about 20 years old, give or take. And it does indoor outdoor, but with the probe, I don't really have a way to stick the probe out these windows, so maybe I should move this upstairs and use it somewhere else, but for now we'll just put that there. Looks like the computer came up and the computer is working. I've got a drink coaster there. I'm not sure how we ended up with 3 extra wire ties. Those for something else. The time is not set properly on the computer, so it probably needs a new CMOS battery. That's a battle for another day. So there's our computer desk down here. Came out pretty good. Only thing left to add is a couple cordless phones. We'll do that later. I spent a few minutes listening to some music on this computer because that was my biggest curiosity with it, what the sound system is like. And the sound is absolutely phenomenal. This is by far the best sounding unit like this I have ever heard. It's super clear and sharp on the high end. It obviously doesn't have any sub-frequencies because the speakers are so small, but it carries the bass line just fine, and it goes plenty loud. I am very, very impressed with this, and I'm not even going to bother to hook up any external speakers. It's so good.